Sixers fans, welcome back. We have to talk about the Ben Simmons saga. It's been a little while for me. There's been some stuff coming out on Twitter that I just absolutely need to talk about. It's hilarious to me. This thing is getting better and better, guys. It's like 3 weeks until the start of the season and still no solution to this whole thing. I'm not even going to discuss the stuff that we already know. Let's get in the video. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, join the family. I'm going to be live streaming every single game this season, just like I did last year. So you better subscribe because we have a lot of fun here on YouTube with the guys. I'm excited for the year to start. Let's talk about it. All right, to reiterate what we've gone through, the Ben Simmons saga has been extremely interesting to me. And I think what's most interesting is the fact that, through all of this thick and thin and through everything being said, we haven't heard a single word out of Ben Simmons' mouth. Not one. This man hasn't said anything himself on Twitter publicly at all, which is really crazy to me. I mean, how many times can we really think about something if you go back to the James Harden thing, it was James Harden's words coming out of James Harden's mouth when he didn't want to be there anymore. Same thing with Anthony Davis. Even with Zion, you haven't really heard anything coming from his mouth, but you heard it from his family. It's been weird, that Zion I mean, you did hear stuff from Zion. Zion talking about how weird it was that he would never let a grown man come play the piano for him, which is hilarious. But you don't hear guys publicly asking for trades over 3 month span of time without saying a single word himself anywhere. It's pretty wild. And that being said, I just think that what is the Ben Simmons camp doing? The whole Rich Paul thing, I think they have played this out terribly wrong, and they're really starting to feel it, feel the aftermath of, oh shit, it didn't go the way we wanted it to go type of feeling. I mean, if you really, look back at it, it started with Ben Simmons' camp coming out saying Simmons didn't like the fan base. The fan base was too hard on him. He didn't like playing in Philadelphia. He doesn't want to come back to Philadelphia by any means, which is one thing, which is you know what? All right. I don't understand it. I don't understand the hate Philly fans get. But I mean, I can get why he's saying that. Philly really turned on him after Game 7, as we should. Then it turns into he doesn't like how Doc Rivers and Joel Embiid reacted after Game 7. They threw him under the bus, right? And how Ben Simmons' interview after the game, he just ran away from all of his problems as he usually does, but that's beside the point. And he was upset about how the best player, his teammate, and the coach just dogged him after the game, and he didn't want to go back and play in that atmosphere, which is really soft, but okay, that's just another thing. And that didn't come out of his mouth, it came out of his camp's mouth, which is just the recurring theme here, which is so wild to me. And then he goes on about, how he didn't like his fit with Joel Embiid, and he doesn't want to be the number 2, and his fit with Embiid doesn't work, despite all of the sabermetrics and most of the advanced stats and almost just the regular statistics proving how dominant they are defensively together as a duo over the past couple of years, and how really, really good they've been offensively over the years too. So that being said, Ben Simmons comes out and he says, I don't like the fit with Embiid. We're not a fit together. I don't want to be played as a number 2. I should be a number 1. A team should build around me. He doesn't say it. His camp says it, in which Embiid comes out and he's like, dude, what? We've built around you all of these years. We haven't been building around me. We traded my best friend to keep you happy. We've gone out to get shooters and JJ and Seth Curry and Danny Green and all these dudes to make you happy, to make you a better player. What do you mean build around you? We've been building around you. Coming out of Embiid's mouth, because Embiid is a grown man and he can say his own words for himself. And up until this point, Ben Simmons is still not saying anything, which is so crazy. And now it gets to the point where I think it was this morning or yesterday, I read a report of Ben Simmons' camp saying how Ben Simmons is upset because he was drafted to a 50-win team and that they won too quick because his development had to have been accelerated and he had a bigger pressure on him than most number 1 draft picks who are drafted to shitty teams and get to work through their struggles. You have got to be kidding me. I mean, this has got to be the funniest thing I've ever heard anyone say. And again, it's not coming from Ben Simmons' mouth. It's coming from Rich Paul. It's coming from his camp, whoever the hell that is. This has got to be the lowest of the low at the Ben Simmons saga. I mean, this man is complaining about winning. Ben Simmons is complaining about winning basketball games. I couldn't believe it when I saw that. I had to read it like 3 times over just to make sure I didn't mess up reading it. I mean, I couldn't believe that. And not only did he say that, but it's not even true. The Sixers didn't make the playoffs the year that we drafted Simmons. He wasn't drafted to a 50-win team. His first year, we were a 50-win team because of him and Embiid. It's so much different. Like, it doesn't even make sense. The fact that he's complaining, that the fact that we weren't good, he was like, damn, I wish we sucked, so it could have been easier on me. That's what I heard. I mean, that has got to be the softest thing I've ever heard an athlete say in my entire life. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. And not only, it doesn't come out of his mouth. It comes out of the mouth of his yes men, which is just, this has reached a new point to me. I mean, this is becoming comedy. And so Ben Simmons' camp has done absolutely everything to get Simmons to be traded before the season. He cannot come back to Philadelphia. That's what he's saying. I don't want to come back to Philly. I can't come back to Philly. Trade me, trade me, trade me. Well, he's getting his friends to say that for him because, you know, he's too busy in the gym working on that jumper. Which is hilarious because the Sixers front office has gotten to the point where we're like, dude, we don't give a shit about what you're saying anymore, man. Like, we are not going to trade you because you want to get traded. You have 4 years left on a deal. Like, what leverage do you have? And the Simmons' camp has come out over and over, time and time again, saying we're going to happily accept the fines given until the fines are given, and then Simmons' camp goes to the player association to see if there's any way they can get that money back and be compensated for the money that he's been fined. And, wow. And, of course, they can. Of course. And now that he's realizing he can't get that money back, he's coming to a point where he's like, maybe I'm going to play. And if that isn't the funniest way to end this summer of chaos, I don't know what is. To see Ben Simmons come out and play in a Sixers jersey against his will would be the funniest punishment possible. This has become better than any reality television show I could possibly recommend to you. This is the Jersey Shore. This is golden news. I love it. Guys, I'll see you later. Peace.